the names that Andromedans use, i.e. Morine, Visayas, have you heard other Andromedan names? Also, do you know what their names mean?
Okay. They are a holographic. Their consciousness is holographic. So when they talk to each other using telepathy, they use entire concepts and symbols. Each symbol is a mathematical equation, if you were to break it down in third density. Early on in the 90s, when I was beginning to talk about this, I showed you symbols. And those symbols represent concepts that they talk about. Morine's symbol is something that's completely indecipherable to us. So I asked him for a name. And you know, that's a great story to tell you about Visayas. So I asked him for a name. I said, I have to call you something. I have to acknowledge you some way, because that's what we do here. And it was over a period of at least 2 contacts, it may have even been 3, where Morine said, look, the resonance of my symbol would be somewhat equivalent to a word or a frequency that I will share with you. And he said, you call me Morane. Morane. That's exactly how he said it the first time. Morane. That's how, and then it just became Morine after that. Visayas was always a tougher cookie. It wasn't like until the 7th contact. I would just acknowledge him and I would bow my head and I would speak to him, not addressing him personally in any way because I didn't know how to. And I damn sure wasn't going to call him, hey, old man, because, you know, I'd find myself floating back home in space. At least that's what I thought. If I insulted him, you know, and, you know, because I had trouble figuring him out. So it was actually Morine who gave me the name that they had agreed on together for me to address Visayas. And apparently Visayas had a specific lifetime. It wasn't the present lifetime, but he had a favorite lifetime where he spent a great deal of time traveling to different star systems and meeting different star nations as an ambassador of sorts. Someone who was negotiating things. And that particular lifetime he always felt was his favorite. So they agreed that I would address him by that frequency. And that frequency was Visayas. That is the frequency of his name in that particular lifetime that he really liked, that he enjoyed, and he thought was his best lifetime today, not the present one. And that's how I addressed him, as Visayas. I was addressing him present time, but I was also addressing a past version of himself. I've never told that story before. This is the first time I've ever told that story. Wow. See, that's why I love the Q&A. You know, that's why I love the Q&A. It brings things up that are just tucked away in corners of my mind. So thanks. That was a good question. So yeah, Visayas was something. He was a trip. Visayas was a trip.